This is a video how to install PyCharm on Ubuntu. First I'm going to show you the version of Ubuntu. This is the newest version. Which is Ubuntu 18.10. It comes pre-installed with Python 3.6 but not 2.7. So we're going to open up Terminal and show you how to find out the Pythons that are installed. But before we do that, we have to install some important packages. So first we're going to update the packages, and then we're going to install the build essential package, and these will all these commands will be on the video description. Then we're going to install Python 3-distribution utils. This is required especially for PyCharm. And then optionally you can install the newer Python, which is Python 3.7. And this will coexist with the 3.6 that's already installed in Ubuntu 18.10. Okay, so let's look at how Python is put into your system. So it's in a user directory called usr/bin, and Python 3 is the one that comes with your system. It's version 3.6, and we just installed 3.7. So that's opened up by the command line Python 3.7. The normal Python is Python 3, which is your command line for that. To get a list of all the Python commands that you can issue, here's a little trick. I'm going to get a directory listing from the user bin directory and pipe it to grep and look for the word Python. And you can see a lot of things here. PDB is the debugger for Python. And then you'll see Python 3, which points to the original, and Python 3.6, and then you'll see also Python 3.7. So now let's go into PyCharm. So we're going to search for PyCharm download in Google search. PyCharm is made by a company called JetBrains, and they make some of the best professional IDEs around. Now, almost all of them are available for free to a student or an educator, which is the professional version. You can try the free trial, but anyone, whether you're a student or not, can download the community edition, and that's what we're going to be downloading. The professional version does have more features, but for learning Python, it won't matter. So we'll go ahead and open up the download, which is a Linux tar. And this will bring up the unextractor, so we're going to click on extract. This is the name of the folder, PyCharm Community. We're going to extract it to our home directory, which will be under your username. So you shouldn't have to change anything, just say extract. Now we're going to choose to show the file so I can show you the structure of it. So there's going to be a new folder in your user directory called PyCharm Community. Let's close Firefox and then open up that folder. And then there's a folder in that called bin, and this is where you actually start PyCharm to begin with. So this file here called pycharm.sh is a shell command to run PyCharm. We're going to set it up so you don't have to do this normally, so we're just going to do it a couple times. But we're going to move this to the side and go ahead and close the archive program. And then we're going to open up Terminal by holding down Control Alt and hit T. And in Terminal, we're going to navigate around. It starts you in your home directory. pwd is a Linux command to tell you where you are. And then ls will list the directories there, and you'll see the PyCharm community. I'm just going to type the first part of this in. PYC and hit tab. So I'm doing a CD, which will change to that directory. And we'll get a list of what's in there, and you'll see bins there. So we'll say CD bin. That goes into the bin directory. We'll get ls, and there's what we want to start. Now to start it, you type /pycharm.sh and hit enter. This will start it up. There's a little glitch we'll see. I'll go ahead and answer these. Confirm the policy. And then you can decide to send usage statistics to the company or not. And it should start up. And it asks, which do you want, the black look or the white look? So you get to choose between them. I like the dark look myself, but sometimes I switch back and forth. Go ahead and do next. This will create a command you can do from the command line where you can just type charm. So go ahead and click that and hit next. These are some plugins you can use. So there's a plugin to use Vim editing. So if you use Vim already, you could play with that. You can always install these later. Markdown and Bash support give you support for those two languages. At this point, it needs your security code for your root. Now you'll see it in the background, that little green thing in the back. There's a little glitch. It doesn't bring the window to the front. So we have to wait for it to complete and then manually bring it to the front. Now don't close the terminal window. It's now running out of that terminal window. So if you close that, it's also going to close PyCharm. Now we're going to go to settings and set some things up. This will set it up for all your projects. First, I like to go to editor and change my font size. So I like to make it a little bigger, so you can play with the font and the size. I'm going to make mine 15. Hit OK. And then we're going to go back to configure, settings, and we're going to tell it which Python to use. So you go to project interpreter, and you hit the little gear next to project interpreter and say add. And we want a virtual environment, so we're going to choose new environment. The other option is called existing environment, which we're not going to use. But that's so you can go directly to the installed. The virtual environment has an advantage. You can always add packages to each one you create. Now it's going to show me my 2 installed Pythons. I'm going to choose 3.6, which came with Ubuntu. It's looking up all the packages. You can install more from this dialog at a later time. So setting everything up, and we're about to create a new project. So we're going to create one more thing to show you. We want to be able to start it with a desktop entry. So you say create desktop entry from configure and say OK. And now later we want to make this stick in our favorites bar on the left side. So we're going to close PyCharm. Go to the back to our terminal window and just use the up arrow. It'll repeat the command we last typed and restart PyCharm. So you just hit enter. It's going to go in the back again, so we have to click on it. Okay, now while it's running, let's bring it to the forward again. We're going to go to the left to where it shows up on the favorites, right click and choose add to favorites. Now it's going to stick it on the favorites, so we can open it now from favorites. So now we're going to create a new project. It gives you a folder in your home directory called PyCharm projects, and we're going to give it a new name for the folder for the project. So you just change untitled to what you want. It's going to use create a virtual environment based on what you've set up from our settings. So we just leave this alone and go ahead and hit create. Now it's creating the project. Now it's going to show you a tip of the day, and you can get rid of this with the little checkbox here. You don't have to always show it. You can always get it from help under tip of the day. It's the right down here. But we're just I like to leave it on, so I just close it. It'll come back every time you open up a new project. This area is where it shows your project structure. This big area here is the edit area. The bottom, you can go to terminal and Python console. I'll show you that later. So right now we go to the name of our project, and we're going to right click and say new, and then we're going to choose Python file. That's how you create a new Python file. Type in the name of the file. You don't have to put the extension. It's going to add it to you for you since you chose Python file. Hit OK, and we're ready to do our first program. So I'm going to type in a comment. And I'm just going to say print, and I'm going to just say hello YouTubers, or YouTube. Now you notice a little squiggly here? That means it found something it doesn't like. And on the far right there's a gutter that tells you what it is. And it's basically was just saying it doesn't like that I don't have a line after this. So I hit a new line after it and it's all happy. That's called the linter. And as you use PyCharm, you get used to it. It'll give you warnings about things you've done. So I go to the middle of the edit area and right click and choose run in the name of my file. That's going to run the program, which you'll see in the bottom here. Now we're going to go to terminal. Terminal, you can type in any command you can do in the terminal. It's already in the right folder. And then Python console, you can run just like you're in idle. I'm going to type in the sum of two strings here. And then I'm going to sum up two numbers, so you can see it works just like idle. So now we're going to close PyCharm. Go ahead and hit exit. And let's restart it from the shortcut we did. And you see it opens up with remembering everything about where your project is. So let's close it, and we also point out that it didn't need to open up terminal. So that's it, and I hope this helps you with installing into Ubuntu. Please subscribe to my channel. You'll see an icon in the lower right to do that.